I'm Haley. Thank you for watching my videos and please subscribe. This is Bailey. She has her own YouTube channel and she does some awesome bear racing on there. And if you don't know what that is, watch her video. Yes. So, we both have horses.
Yes. You have to describe your horse first.
My horse's name is Zippa. Z-I-P-P-A. She's just a really, really tall red roan, and she's pretty and very barn-soured.
Very barn-soured. My horse is named Mikey. He is huge he's a huge black quarter horse, thoroughbred also. And he is my best friend, and we barrel race, basically.
That's a lovely story, Bailey. So basically I mentioned earlier about barn souring. And basically that's when you leave your horse alone or
like you lock them up in their stall and they never get to go out and get exercise or have a bigger space than what they need, because horses need a big space. If you want to own a horse, it's not keeping them in there.
Or a backyard. There's someone down the street from us that has a horse in their backyard and it's terrible.
Their fence is broken. They don't have a big enough barn for it. It's not. I mean, I'm okay if their horse isn't stuck in a small stall that it just doesn't work like that. And if you own a horse, it should never work like that. And especially about this lady that we are about to describe to you, she is an old little lady with her husband. And how many horses does she have?
23. She owns 23 horses.
23 horses, and she's this little lady. And I can't imagine riding 23 horses a day, which is what you should be doing, is exercising your horses every day.
Or letting them out in the pasture so they can run around, exercise, be free. And
Exactly.
A certain number of her horses are allowed into the arena. So that's the biggest space that they get.
I mean, no, they have the pasture, but that's only for their geldings that they have. And there's only like 5 geldings.
So only 5 horses are in the field.
And the rest of them are studs. She has studs that are not like
gelded.
Broke or they're not gelded.
And she has a couple mares.
She has a couple mares.
And a new foal. Good for her.
That's her 23rd.
Yeah.
She just got.
Yeah, she bought a pregnant mare who just had a foal. And now that foal is going to be basically born into this life. So what barn souring does to a horse is that it essentially makes them lazy and fat and just doesn't let them have like the will to live. They're not going to kill each other.
Their exercise and
like they won't want to leave. If you do miraculously do this to your bring them out and try to exercise them, they will want to go back because that's all they're used to and won't want to be with you.
With the horse that I was riding, we were riding her horses.
Okay, just one thing. We are considering her horse mine because I took care of it. She didn't. I did not barn sour those horses. I'm not a bad person. She was sweet, but couldn't handle 23 horses.
What she's basically saying is she rode her horse
and took care of it.
She rode her horse and took care of it and cleaned everything. We came to this lady's place and we cleaned her stalls, and that's our payment to be able to ride her horses. Even though we have our own, it doesn't. Anyway, we rode her horses if we would clean their stalls and stuff, and we took care of them.
Or sometimes before we didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Those were the best days.
And so the horse that I rode was named Scout, and he was
a crow hopper.
He was very barn sour. He was really barn sour.
He was like barn rotten.
Yeah.
Well, they all were, but
one time we were riding in her arena,
which is again extremely small. She has so many acres that you can add on.
And she could put her horses, if she just made her horses geldings and they weren't studs, she could use all of that land for her 23 horses, but she doesn't do that. And the horse that I rode, he was one of the worst.
Well, he was actually he shared a stall with a donkey.
So he was very
Donkey-ish.
confined.
Yeah.
And
there was poop everywhere.
her horse didn't share anything, but she was still confined. But the horse that I rode was named Scout, and he was a bay horse. And I tried to teach him barrels, and I was trying to lope him around the barrels just to see how well, I didn't, that's not the first thing I did. I walked him and then I trotted him.
Which, those horses don't trot. They either walk like snails, or they are trying to lope you off the saddle.
So when I try to lope them, you have to kick them because they don't want to go. They just want to go back to the barn, which is what barn sour is.
And on the saddles that they had like the whips on like the leather strings that you can. We had to use them every time. We hated it.
We didn't use them as hard.
Well, I had to.
We would bring them out to show them that we might whip them, but we won't whip them.
Yeah.
And they're scared of it.
Well, I had to a couple occasions because she was just. It doesn't hurt them. Like, what you might think, it does not hurt them. Their skin is thicker than ours. They're fine.
They're just...
It just, like, spooks them a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, like, spooks them, but, like, okay, I need to listen now.
Anyway, he was coming out of his third barrel, and I was trying to kick him so he'd lope, and he did not lope. He was like a bucking horse and bucked all the way home until I would fall off, but I did not fall off.
Because she was smart. Still is smart, but...
He bucked all the way home, crow hopped. Even though her arena was small, it felt like forever. Like going to China and back, bucking up and down.
Okay, her area, like where all her horses are on a hill, and it's very small. It was a very small area. And yet they did not hear anyone. They didn't notice it. Because they were doing something.
Yeah, they really...
Like changing a light bulb and not
No,
hearing.
they didn't even know I was... And we didn't tell them. We weren't going to tell... No, we didn't.
I think...
We ended up not telling them.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Do you want to tell them the story of when we were... The one time we went in the field?
Oh, yeah.
That was mostly you.
But that's why he did that. He didn't want to do anything, so he wanted to go back in his stall. He wanted to sit there and do nothing.
Just continue.
And that's what you get with having those horses. And he used to be a jumper, which I don't ride English. I'm not a big fan of English, but I ride Western. And
Woo! Okay.
obviously, barrel racing.
I just have a tank top, but go ahead.
He was stuck with a donkey, and when you're barn soured, and it's even worse when you have a company with you because they want to go back to their best friend. And horses are herding animals, so they are going to want to go back with their
Herd.
Well, he was stuck in there with a donkey.
Yeah, he had a crush on my horse.
He wanted to go back with her horse, and they're neighboring each other too.
So that was even worse because they were right next to each other.
So,
yeah. But she wouldn't, my horse, because it was, again, at a hill, because that's all they have, was at the very bottom of the hill because she refused to go back up because she wanted to go back to her stall. It wasn't even a stall, it's barely covered. But she just refused to go back up the hill, and she was at the very top. And she wanted to come down with me and it was because she was wondering why I wouldn't come up, and she wanted to be with me.
Scout?
Yeah. Scout was trying to be with her.
See, I wanted to stay in the
arena.
pasture for a little bit. I wanted to stay in the pasture for a little bit because
None of the horses wanted to.
He was being okay, and he was actually loping around the pasture, which was great. But as soon as her and her horse left, he went nuts.
He ran straight down that hill at full speed.
As fast as he could. As fast
He
as
almost
he could.
ran into the fence. He almost
jumped the fence. And
again, jumper.
Her husband, and I'm not going to name his name, her husband was there.
Didn't do a thing.
Didn't do a thing. He thought whatever it's like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be what happens
And
all the
it's
time.
not like they ride those horses anday.
Well,
The only horse that they actually paid attention to was a horse named Cowgirl. I think she was like...
And they have like, and when they're too lazy to saddle them up, I mean, I don't say you're lazy for this, but a lot of people do it. They would trot them around the arena with the truck. And yeah, were you not there?
No.
Oh,
Because you
I was
remember
there.
I was like not there for a month because I got in trouble.
Oh, well,
What did...
they would trot them around like they're 4-year-olds, and which is crazy. I mean, I don't know how she
If
did
you don't
it.
know this, 4-year-olds are like little teenagers in our butts, and it's not very safe to ride them.
Well, unless they're broke and you have to break them and train them, and they were not doing that.
No, they were just... I really hope that they don't get...
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And they're like 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds are stuck in this little pen.
Like, horses aren't meant to do
And
that.
then their geldings are out eating and getting fatter and fatter.
Did they sell Dollar?
I don't know. Yeah, because they had 2 other horses in the other pasture.
They had another pasture.
Other pasture.
We never saw those horses at all.
I saw them. They're in a whole other pasture. A big pasture.
And just getting fat and...
Never ridden and...
They were basically wild.
And they can have these horses. They can rodeo, but they don't rodeo anymore, and it sucks.
Because they're old.
And what's the point of having 21 horses and then adding a mare and a colt
Yeah,
to the bunch?
Okay, I say, how many horses do you think she should have? I say at least 2.
Like 2.
2.
Like for him and one for him and one for her.
I think it would be probably
That's
Cowgirl and...
No, it doesn't
War
even
Man.
matter what type of what horse. It
That
should
was
be
what
one
they would
horse.
choose. That's what they would choose if they
Well,
had
yeah.
to. Maybe the foal and that mare, but
Why they?
it's wrong. It is wrong.
It is horrible. And then one day we went out.